Good night tomorrow, everyone. It's me, the Notepad Anon. Actually, I remember. I don't forget. 19 days until Dono comes to steal your liver. Bing bong wahoo. Of course, it's a bing bong wahoo moment. Don't worry, the Chinese already hunger for my livusi, one might say. Oh god. Let me I claimed many games, so it looked like I got like 30 emails. I did not, in fact. Fun fact, so I could do this because I'm a God-fearing man. So, if you have Amazon Prime and you're on Twitch, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, XCOM 2, True Fear, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what the fuck Hellslave is. What's a Hellslave? Alright, cool, this game's free. Do you want to play this game? Yep, here it is. It's on GOG, here it is. Let's see, Empty Shell, don't know what that game is, it's free. A couple other games are just randomly free. Yeah, I claimed many games, and I get an email for every time I do. Yeah, that's a fun time. That's a fun time for the Notepad Anon experience. But hello. Let me pop open some of my Coca-Cola. So, should we have real Coca-Cola, or should we have a Coca-Cola-like beverage? This is a very important question. You know what? Let's go with the Coca-Cola-like beverage. I believe I've had this before, but it's definitely Coca-Cola, but it's also not quite Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola being a way to get around things. It's beer. It's not. It is a beer-like alcoholic beverage. I don't know why they have to call it a beer-like alcoholic beverage. It was $1.50, so I don't hate it. Kind of weird, kind of hoppy, but not. It's hoppy, but it's not full. If that makes sense. Hello, Poison Dart 66. Hello. I want you to know I saw that first 6, and my first instinct was 6-7. Because I've been seeing that 6-7 meme so much. Because I have to deal with little kids every now and again, and it's like, haha, 6-7. And I'm like, but why? Yeah. It's, So I had Coke Zero today. I actually bought a Coke Zero. Please no, I hate that. I have no idea. Genuinely. No fucking clue. I had to learn. I forcefully educated myself. I forcefully educated myself on what the fuck this was. And I went out of my way to learn about it. And I feel like I've lost brain cells. Like, I feel as though, like, I could feel, like, the little, like, track of blood go down my nose. My eyes started twitching. I started hearing the voices again. It was like, this is hell. Like, I'm too old, too Asian for. No, Poison Dart, you don't understand. This was at a Asian school for little kids. They were like, yes, chimpanzini, gorillini, and I'm like, I'm having a stroke, children, I'm sorry. Sensei is having a fucking stroke. Sensei's tweaking. But yeah, no, it's every now and again. we were actually having a very serious conversation about that yesterday among some of the other instructors, and even our supervisor, whom I do not like, by the way. It was a very serious discussion of how the fuck do we deal with it. When nobody had any clue. It was just like, what the fuck are they even saying? Like, one kid wanted to keep dancing, like doing a new like TikTok dance or something, and I'm like, what the fuck is a TikTok? I don't use TikTok. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not like a fucking teenage girl or a 30-year-old nurse. Like, I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. It do be that way. See, I can't even say it do be that way anymore because it do be that way, Mr. Stancil. Like that, it do be like that, Mr. Stancil. Like, I hate bringing out with a it feels like 90% of, like, anytime I'm like, I have to engage with what the kiddos are like dealing with, and I'm like, the fuck are you working with? Like, what the fuck am I looking at? But then I think back, like, when I was a kid, when I was that age, and I don't remember anything, it's all a blur, but it was like, I kind of remember, like, we had our own, like, funny sayings. But, like, I think if you're my age, because I'm up there, I'm in my late 20s. I think, like, we were kind of the last generation to not really get that internet meme culture. But I think, like, the kids after us, I think in, like, the mid-20s now. Yeah, like, mid-20s, you have, like, the Minecraft kids now. Who, like, grew up with, like, Markiplier and stuff like that. But then below them, you've got, like, even, I think even our age, in the late 20s, people, like, even early 30s, are, like, YouTube poop era. Like, full-on old-school YouTube poops. Like, I remember some of those. But now it's just like, as my memory fades into darkness, I was like, Jesus. Have you seen the brain rot lingo on this very platform? We cannot say that. Have you seen the brain rot lingo on this very platform 8 years ago? Yeah, that's even the funny thing. Like, even 8 years ago, even like 4 years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, you get like this weird like new lingo. Like, you get what I mean? And we again, this was part of that discussion. It was like, we were seeing like the lingo of yesterday. Remember when everything was lit? Remember that? Oh yeah, that's totally lit, bro. Oh yeah, that's totally fire. Remember that? I remember that. I remember saying things were lit. And I remember now, and again, you know, the blood comes down my nose. I start, you know, tweaking out. I'm like, it's happening again. You know, I realize my own mortality. It's like, what the fuck? I think it's official. Like, I think we're just too old. I think we're all old men at this point. We're all old, bitter men. But Mr. Notepad, I'm only 23, old man. Like, you feel like an old man, and like, sorry, you've hit 20. You're officially now a boomer. You're an old man, and I always have to say that when I'm working with them. Like, yeah, I'm an old man, apparently. But I think I have like, I think I also have like the problem where I'm so plugged into the internet still, and like we are. Like, do you understand? Like, we're plugged into the internet even more than most people. Like, and even I find it difficult sometimes. But like, those people who are like 24/7 like on Twitter and shit, I'm like, how do you function? Like, that is too much in my brain. I know, I refuse to be one of those. I hate anyone who uses a dabbing or what, a whipping. Burn file, holy hell. Yeah, it's one of the fact that you remember it already is like that. Like, sorry, I'm gonna finna hit a dab, and then you hit a dab. I dabbed the other day. They were like, "Oh man, Sensei, you're so old." I'm like, "Yeah," and I fucking dabbed. Like, all of them looked at me like I was insane. Everyone, all of those kids were like, "Are you positively like geriatric?" Macarena. Like for that moment, Notepad withered away into dust. He was nothing but an old man. Old man with his little cane. It is like, back in my day, we used to write things down. Back in the olden days, when the internet was pure and none of this other bullshit. We're old and bitter people. Let's talk about elf games. That's always the funny thing. It'd be like, we're all old and bitter people. Let's talk about funny elf games on the internet as God intended. But yes, as always, we'll get to work a little bit on things. A little bit behind schedule for myself, actually. Pretty fucking behind schedule. Originally, like, my plan was I wanted to get a bunch of stuff done today, but that just did not happen because I was on a quest to find fucking packing tape. I could not find, like, good packing tape anywhere. And when I actually got to the post office to return my packet, they're like, "Sorry, you didn't fill out the right form." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm tired. I don't want to deal." They're like, sir. I'm like, no, me no Nihongo fucking Espanol. Oh, not doing it right now. It was one of those days. It was a Notepad has thoroughly given the fuck up. No, I did go. So I did end up going to the store and got some good stuff, good easy things. Got dinner going right now in my rice cooker. God bless the rice cooker. And my original goal was I wanted to get the audio done for Black Void. Those who don't remember Black Void. Black Void was very interesting game. Very fascinating. I actually really liked it. Very reliable, simple system. Nothing too exotic in it. Recently, though, you kind of see right here, he's been dead silent for a while. And of course, news from the Void is I did not realize that until I started like writing the script for it, and I finished doing my sample script. I was like, fuck. So I need to I have to rewrite chunks of the script probably tonight. Putting in some like other little things that I feel like I need to put in to talk about. They have like effectively the new one is they have a bunch of new adventure paths coming out with a bunch of new stuff. Which is like, oh, okay, after fucking years. Like, yes, I've decided that I want to do it. Now I'm like, alright. Yeah, like, technically, like, oh, why does everyone look the way? Yeah, because they literally stole Babylon. That's literally the lore. Is Babylon got fucking died. There's a lot of cool stuff with Black Void. Very relatively simple game. A lot of stuff with Black Void though. I think that's its like chief grace as well as its like biggest downfall is that there's just a lot of shit with it. And a lot of that shit is not complicated. Very easy to understand. There's just a lot. And that's why I posted that image a couple days ago, which is what's better, 5+1s or 1+5. Black Void believes 5+1s are better. but it's like +1, +2, +3, -2, +2, -1, and it's like they're never big numbers. It's just a lot of numbers sometimes on a flat D12 roll. And I got the video to be about 4 minutes. I got the video to be about 3.5 minutes. It was actually a pretty succinct video, and I was very proud about that. But I was like, okay, I need to fix some things. And like the base video, the sample video, the one that actually, the proof of concept does work. I need to just retrofit a lot of things and re-record the audio. That was today's plan, but it didn't happen. So, do that tomorrow after the spooky. If I do things absolutely correct, I'll probably put Black Void out on the 31st. On Halloween itself, like it's spooky game of the month. I know it's not really spooktacular, but spooky enough for me. And that's a point that I make, that it's not scary in a traditional way, it's scary more of a philosophical standpoint. And arguably, that's more interesting to me. Ugh. Alright. So, what are we doing today? Well, we're gonna be, bashing our skulls against this for a little bit. So, what is this? What the fuck is this? Unknown KRA game. Well, if we go to my list here. So there we go. So we look at my current list here. Divine Dream Drift is done. So currently we are on the unnamed petty project. We're then going to view Heirs of Ranagar. Heirs of Ranagar may be shifted down. And then we have Yik 2 the Yickening. If things go according to plan, Yik 2 the Yickening will probably either begin in the start of January or end in the start of January. Make it as appropriate as possible. Yes, and it is a Yik game. We're all yicking out. But yeah, right now it's right here, the unnamed petty project. And what do I mean by that? Well, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Notepad Anon liked games. Liked why games ticked. Let me find Note Chromancer. Mad. Is it the Necromancer's Guide to All? Beto. Note Crow. Necromancer's Guide to Doll. Yes, this was a thing about Necronica. And I even kind of write in some notes of why I'm making this. Because I wanted to tear Necronica apart. I wanted to know like why I liked it the way I did. I think that really summarizes this entire experience. Why does Notepad like Necronica? And I did that by disassembling it with a fucking knife. You want me to be honest, and I did. I ripped it apart, and limb by limb. What I found was I liked Necronica because it's interesting. That's it. I'm not gonna lie. I like it because it's interesting. Notepad, that makes no fucking sense. Please elaborate. Well, effectively, I liked the pitch, I liked the ideas, and I liked how every aspect of the game fed into that idea from a completely both mechanical and narrative point of view. It's very easy to narratively say something. Very easy. It's very different to mechanically do that. And that's like one of the entire theories behind Sprugs. It was Notepad Anon wants to make a game that does something very specific, and those mechanics must reflect what I'm doing. Easy, right? Easy. Well, it's not easy, because we live in a society bottom text, and doing things like that are complicated. So, I made it. People got mad because of a previous thing. I told everyone collectively in that community to go fuck themselves with a metal bar. And now I am not very popular there, and I have multiple pieces of misinformation spread about me there. But I don't care, because I am a fucking spite-powered machine, and they're the ones saying it's okay to like little girls, and I'm like, oh. But I just love cancel. It's not even cancel culture. It's the problem with it. It was someone wanted to pay me. I don't even remember who. Someone wanted to pay me to retrofit Necronica. Literally, like, change names, change some features and stuff, so he could play it with his boss. And I said, you know what? That's a perfectly legitimate thing, in my eyes. Because my belief is people should play the game, because the game is more interesting than anything. Because, for those who don't know, Necronica looks like this. Necronica is about undead girl lollies ripping each other apart. Oh, but Notepad, isn't that the point? Isn't that the point that undead girl lollies who rip each other apart to further the storytelling or something like that? And the answer is yes. That and Rio is effectively a self-admitted fucking weirdo. Yeah, it's one of those things where if you have zero self-reflection, well, of course you have to do that, but if you have that like ounce of like self-reflection, you realize, yeah, I understand why this isn't like the most popular game ever created by man. And yes, Necronica goes out of its way to kind of justify the dolls, and I like the aspect of the dolls. I think it is very thematically appropriate for Necronica and the story it wants to tell. I've got no issue with it. I think it works. But I also completely understand why someone would not want this. I understand. And it's sometimes hard to understand. It wasn't necessarily cancel culture. What happened was, I said, hey, this is what's happening. And I told the server this, like the actual Necronica server. Probably not my best idea. I should have really kept it on the DL. I just never elaborated, but I did because I'm an idiot. Yeah, that didn't go very well. He backed out. I never got paid for anything. There was no money exchanged. But I already kind of started doing a little bit of work on it. Just to make sure that it was done. No money, no anything, and I said, fuck it. And I asked myself, hey, I want to do this. And there are some weird things with Necronica. And the problem is, if you are very hardcore into that community, you do not think about that idea very much. And generally speaking, I do not consider myself part of many strong communities. I've always declared that I'm an outsider looking in on many things. It is my nature. So I started working on this, and there are some very strange parts to Necronica that, mechanically speaking, make sense from a mechanical point of view, but you also have to sit there and think about it for a few minutes and justify it. But you can't, it's hard to justify. Because I want to propose to you a situation in Necronica. You are walking down a pathway, and there is a metal bar, literally a chunk of rebar sticking out of the ground. You could pick up this rebar and use it. And the player says, I take the rebar and I pick it up. Now, in Necronica, you are now in a very fascinatingly shit situation. You are, very unironically. What do I mean by that? The metal bar is a part. Parts have action points, they can get tore off, many things can happen to parts. A part can be anything from your head or your brain, all the way down to guns, scythes, your legs, or anything else. Parts are what your character is at the end of the day, and they're very important. But do you notice what I mean by your health and things like that? Well, picking up a metal bar means that you have a tier 2 armament. A tier 2 part. Normally, you cannot get new tier 2 parts until later in the game. Pretty extensively so. And I mean on top of your starting gear. Oh, but you can just get that. No, this is just on the way. Now, you have 3 options. Option 1, you let them have it. On the other hand, you have now just not only made them stronger, you've made them better, you've made them more durable. You have effectively made a character undeniably better by picking up a metal bar and saying it is a metal bar, a tier 2 armament. On the other hand, you could say, no, you cannot pick up the metal bar. And then suddenly, why can't I pick up a metal bar? Well, because I said you can't, and the game says you cannot pick up a metal bar, and the game says you cannot do things like that. You cannot interact with anything outside of the game until the game says you are able to interact with it. And that was weird to me. It was one of those things, once you read it, you kind of internalize it, you're like, that is kind of funky. Or option C, you can pick it up and it does nothing. You have performed an action that does absolutely nothing. You have promoted the illusion of choice. Now, that was kind of a weird one, and people kind of misinterpreted that point. They misinterpreted that point mostly being with the idea like, oh, well, the middle part's a part, so it's like, what, your point is invalid. Not the deeper point I was trying to make is that Necronica is extremely mechanically specific. And it's fascinating in that regard. I like that idea behind it. I like the idea of how mechanically specific it is. But Necronica also fucking fights you on that. Now, a couple other things in here. Just to, as a rundown. The non-combat system in Necronica is roll a d10 and try to hit a 6. If you fail, your part breaks. That is literally it. It is not about the adventure phase. The adventure phase is just the way to justify you getting to the fight. That is the main rack of the game. I've had like one of the other people, his name is fucking Kyo? No, not Kyo. Fucking Kiwi, that's his fucking name. Kiwi got mad at me that I said, like, yeah, there was someone who tried to make a GURPS version of it. And I said, like, yeah, it's a GURPS version. The SAS, the Standard Aptitude System, is effectively using a 2d10 for most things, because Necronica already uses fucking d10, so 2d10 just makes a nice curve. I like curves. Mostly was trying to tie it to the parts. Does it work right? No. They got mad at me, like, oh, you just want to make a d20 game. It's like, no, we already are using d10s. If we use a 2d10, we get a curve now, and we can have higher target numbers. We can have higher target numbers. So you can have more of a range for things, so your +1s and +2s start meaning a little. I like that idea. We have tools. Effectively, it's that metal bar conundrum. You can pick up a metal bar, but it is most likely a tool. It does not do anything. It is a +1 or 2 to a check. It's something gives you a boon, an advantage, or a way to bypass a problem. Very easy. It is literally a way to justify picking up that metal bar. Pick up that metal bar, you can use it to jimmy open a door better. use it to bash a window open. In combat, doesn't fucking mean. Home base, I thought it was cool. This is like one system that I like put out and I just never elaborated on. I think I could do something with it a little bit more, but it's like effectively the idea of the necromancer. In setting, effectively the necromancers are always waging war on each other. Extremely petty, justifiably horrible reasons because they're all categorically insane monsters. And as they are all categorically insane monsters, they are waging a endless conflict with one another, often solely for the reason to justify waging a constant, bloody war on each other because they hate each other. Kind of the idea of the Necromancer Wars is like, yeah, there are like squads and shit moving around the map constantly. Like as your actual group, you're more easily able to maneuver around. There's just hordes of just monsters roaming around, getting into fights with. I think I could probably elaborate on that a little bit more, but it just never happened. Yeah, gutting it. Yeah, a couple of these were just modifying the systems of combat and why I liked the combat system. The advanced health system. Yes, the advanced health system, literally giving you a bunch of new parts to get ripped off, because if you get your elbow torn off, congratulations, you lose your forearm and your hand. Hey, your legs, your hips have been ripped off. You have no femurs, tibia, or feet anymore. Better get it, better get that chucked. Hey, your spine snaps, your jaw, your eyes, things like that. Most don't do anything except be another part to get horribly mangled. Kind of maneuvering with the battle grid. I really like the hit myself. Owie, my knee. Did you do something like making the pipe give a combat and part of whatever part is head by? In Necronica, no. Necronica proper, no. Also, thank you for subscribing for a year, Werewombat. You can never escape. You're here forever. Necronica proper, no, not really. I did do aspects like that. There's some more later. Let me readjust my. So, kind of the idea, like, I put it on a grid because I was like, fuck it, let's put it on a grid and see what happens. It was really weird, and it's actually not a bad grid system. I might end up. You know what we can do? What we're gonna do is we're going to steal the Grid Reaper. Yeah, a lot of like bump moving, a lot of like how to change maneuvers and stuff. We got stunt moving. Yeah, a lot of like little weird things here just to change how it works. This is what scavenged equipment did. Like, if you pick up a light melee weapon, they're not good. That's always the point I wanted to make. Picking up a scavenged pipe is not good. The first time you use it, it will break. It does not do much. It is not efficient, it is not good, but it is a thing that you have access to. And if you desperately need to use it, because you have nothing fucking else, you can use it. But should you? Well, maybe not. Should you use that? Maybe not. But hey, we found a shitty gun, and now I can shoot my shitty gun. The second I use it, it explodes, but And it's like, oh, hey, here's like light armor. If you have no defend, strap a metal plate to you. It's not, again, not good cost wise, but you get that little bit of defend. You go, instead of taking 3 damage, you take 2 damage. It's not much. It's just something. You know, kind of the things on the battlefield, kind of on the not only the battlefield but also the grid system. Yeah, 3 AP, root around the corpse band. You regenerate basic parts, buzzsaws, sorts of movements. I move them into buzzsaws, having them member check, gravity, kind of things just to expand it, giving verticality to it, changing it to a tic-tac-toe system, adding more options. This was one of the special issue. Ryukami is a weird dude. Yeah, whether it's growing up when Golden Sky sort of become a better made or be growing in power in Zettai Rado. Zettai Rado being specifically a game where you have to rape your way to success. We're trying to remain sane in Draca Rouge. The Chronicle is no different. It forces you and your sanity out a mind-bending adventure of hope and future where characters and minds naturally assume innocence and goodness. Those are often portrayed as girls. Young girl. Youthful appearances. He has explained safe for, I will not delve into them. The Necro Lolly game. However, been used for more of the Undead Lolita fanfiction, including a full replay of playing Bonobo dolls and Max dolls, one dedicated to playing as Resurrection. And yeah, I do cite Lolita. Have no fear. I do cite the book Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Led driver is an unreliable narrator sexually abusing his stepdaughter due to his obsessive streak with youth. Yeah, so abominations are just horrifying things that go around killing things. Robots have to deal with various problems there. Battalion Z is originally this game was called Battalion Z, whereas the entire purpose of it was that you are burning out. But you know, go fast and die in their name. You are one of these soldiers, a member of Battalion Z, a soldier of a forgotten war, given purpose to enact the will of a delusional necromancer. Your body is held together by will and metal. Unlike their dolls or savants, you are an unwanted temporary whim, something to be thrown away after your duty has been completed. Clock is ticking. Count. Kind of the idea behind Battalion Z was like, you just have your main thing is burning will or relentless willpower. You can just reduce AP cost to 0, but you break your relentless will. It's kind of the idea that you are slowly and steadily breaking. Yeah, of course. Your fetters, distant, uncommitted, develop grow strong with companions before they eventually fade away. You may gain refusal to die fetter. You can't die no matter what. I've been dead 90 years. Today's the day I live. Into the battle phase, remove this fetter and add 2 mana to each other fetter. Acceptance. I've been dead. Yeah, it's kind of the idea behind Battalion Z was that they are, the soldiers are able to take care of his class, yet take all of the skills of their class immediately. However, during the end phase, remove a class skill permanently. Effectively, you are losing your skills and abilities instead of gaining them. As the more you push, the more you are dying, and you are not supposed to be around forever. They ever lose all of their fetters and relentless willpower, they will Romancer's will, collapsing into a carrion. And the non-human auxiliary troops. Yes, you can play a dog with a gun. Fetters act normal, but often are portrayed in odd ways. Animals reacting to their human companions may seem odd or simply affection. Humans may not fully understand their 600-pound gorilla cyborg companion. Yeah, and then we have Notepad add-on goes through the entirety, philosophy of parts, which was very difficult, which was the most annoying line I ever received in that fucking Discord, which was, don't create for the sake of creating. Fuck that. One thing I'll always stand by. Ryu designed all of the parts in Chronica to work in sync with one another. That's the that's kind of the main concept is, and this is why things, basically have 36 collected 12 parts each. Last, like, by default you're gonna have 5 of these. It's mattering 2 ones. Yeah. Again, almost everything is balanced against each other with the assumption of what you will have rather than balanced by itself. Which I think is the hence what I use, the course manipulation technique equation. Each person roughly going to bring in a Viscera point. P's, with rocks approximately. Absolutely not, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, so what I ended up doing was making the Viscera system. The concept behind the Viscera points is very simple. Every part is just a combination of Viscera points that you can spend. Yeah, no, some quirks would just... kind of adding different abilities, different things. So, for example, I made the Tesla Archer. Range attack 1, stagger, next move by sister will have a support +1 if acting to attack the target. This is a dogshit tier 1. However, it was not used, it was not... The best way to think about it, the Tesla Archer is not balanced in terms with every other one. It is balanced in terms of being its own thing, which the game does not like, and that's why some of the math is a bit funky. And that's why it gets a little bit funky. So, what does this mean for the unknown KRA game, or the unknown Kamen Rider Amazon game? Because Notepad really likes Kamen Rider Amazon. Fun fact. Specifically the newer version. I didn't watch the old one. I like the newer one because I like some of the implications in that. Notepad, what do you mean by the implications? Well, you know, the implications. Because effectively in setting, yeah, Kamen Rider Amazon, like, anytime they say, "Oh, I'm going Amazon," Amazon, and they freak out. They're not guys in suits. Like, obviously, because it is a Kamen Rider, henshin show, they look like they have suits. Because we are a normal, we are a society bottom text. But in setting, this is kind of what's happening. I.e., that's his skin. That is his skin, that is his hands, that is his face. He becomes a living weapon, effectively. This isn't even the protagonist. That's the funny thing. Omega. Yeah, now imagine, again, all of this is just muscle and skin and chitin and... yeah, Kamen Rider Amazon gets pretty bloody up, by the way. It doesn't pull punches. I like that. One reason I like Kamen Rider Amazon. Because it's fucking gory. And I think that's what I want to get across with it is you are a normal dude. Yay, normal dude. Oh no, you have undergone serious super soldier thing. While you are a normal dude most of the time now, something happens that turns you into effectively a yeah, something happens that turns you into a horrifying nightmare entity that wants to kill people because you are a fucking monster. You are a horrifying freak of nature and everyone's afraid of you. That's kind of the idea what I want to get across. Guyver? I think it's Guyver. Never watched Guyver, so maybe that's maybe we should maybe we should be Guyver maxing. I believe there's some aspects. Maybe I'll take a look there. Maybe I can find something. But yeah, kind of the same, kind of that idea of like you were, if the idea of common, you know, if the idea is that there is Kamen Rider Amazon, have no fear, it's Jin and friends, and they're doing it. You're not really them. You are son. You are effectively the monsters they fight. Let me see. Team. Also, Kamen Rider Sigma, what a fucking bitch. Kamen Rider Sigma fucking sucks. Fucking so fucking lame. God, I don't know how he got away with being as lame as he was. It's awful. Yeah, fucking this dude. Wait, no, not that. This fucking loser. Fucking Amazon Neo. Such a fucking... Holy fuck. But like, this is Momoru. We like Momoru. Like, this is what he looks like. Now imagine, you are a horrible flesh monster, and you, like, that is your face now. I think that is the best way of thinking about it. And to see the concept art for it. Yeah, that's his mouth because he is a mole. That's kind of the idea of what I want to get across almost, is that you are not the he. The mole kaiju. Worst part is he's like the second best character. I fucking love him. He's such a cool. He's a cool guy. He's a nice character, and like the way he goes, I'm like, it says that. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. What I want to get across is like you are there now. The one thing what I want to do is kind of this is kind of a challenge a little bit. Normally, if you really think about it, if we think that like this is the world, like the world, and then we have like a post-apocalypse. Like the post-apocalypse is like, oh no, we never see like that makes sense. Very rarely do we see. Very rarely do we see like the end of time. Like things going bad. So it's like, oh man, everything's so great. End of the world. You don't see the end of the world. The only piece of media that really comes to mind showing the fucking end of the world would be Devilman Crybaby. Which Devilman, actually, you know what I should, Kamen Rider, Kamen Devilman slash Devilman Crybaby. Kind of putting them separate because Devilman and Devilman Crybaby kind of operate on different wavelengths. I like kind of them both for different reasons. So we Kamen Riding today, boys? Hell yeah. Actually, you know what? Muv-Luv is a pretty good one. Kind of Muv-Luv, more like, well, yeah, no, kind of that idea of the world is ending. What the fuck do we like? And it's like we don't. It's not going well. Like, let's just say that. One thing I want to get across. I've got my notebook. I've got some things in my notebook. You had a future where you put a shotgun on your doll and you try to move after being forced to lie still for 8 hours. The thing is, the best way to think about it would be you are the dog after you rip off the shock collar. Where is it? Alright. Got my notes here a little bit. But yeah, kind of these ideas of just you are not the heroes. You're just trying to survive. Now, there's the one option. The one option is your characters are effectively like the human enough characters, but you all serve like the greater community that you're trying to protect. Literally like fucking sewer, like Welcome to Sewer Town, like your little nomad group. And what I was thinking about doing is that like a majority of your kind of fellow fuck-ups are really not capable of doing much. They're trogs. Otherwise known as effectively retarded people. That being one of the that being kind of one of the ideas. But hey, you are the people taking care of, or at least getting food for the, at the end of the world, your group of fuck-ups in your little community. Because the world is ending, there are still forces trying to, like, get you, obvious. I'm like, is that a little bit too over? There's a part of me that thinks that's a little bit too over. Where it's like, alright, so here you are, the hero, but not really. And under you, there's like 30 fucking trogs. And trogs are effectively the mutts. They don't look like this exactly, but same principle. Trogs are not very good at doing anything. They look like Jumbo Josh. But like, is that a little bit too ambitious? I don't know yet. Kind of a back and forth there. So, right now, what I ended up deciding on, if we were to be strict about things, I think sticking with a D20 is the best option. And again, if anyone has any comments, feel free to. I'm going to be rattling up effectively stream of consciousness here, like I always do. Check everything. Oh yeah. Also, the our dress up Halloween for the trio is currently neck and neck, so anyone can win. Oh god. I mean, always look. I mean, I'm always for anything not D20, be it other dice, multiply, pool. Oh, Eclipse Judgment? Not quite. I should, honest to God, I should go back to that and do some retrofitting. Also, Ghosts better win. Down with Pokemon. Ghosts. Hey man, we all love Pokemon. Pokemon's back. We had Gardevoir. Gardevoir posting. I had a Gardevoir sandwich yesterday, I'll have you know. We love Gardevoir in this house. The fact of the Gardevoir sandwich is pretty good. The Charizard sandwich fucks you up. Too much pepper. You could have a Street Fighter burger instead. You mean a Kagura burger? Thank you very much. Don't you want a Kagura burger? Kagura Burger King. I'll have you know, I was so fucking mad because I didn't have my flamin' burger. Yeah, Akakura Shogun. Yeah, I've actually had the flame. Yeah, and I have this. This is I actually own this now. I now have the Kagura Burger official merchandise. You may not like it, but the Kagura Burger is real. Like I have a morbid fascination with like deals and shit. Like also the Lilith Burger, they keep bringing this back. This is like I think a go-to sandwich they have. You can get this right now. It just runs out like every 5 fucking minutes. X. Did you Gardevoir? That's I'm gonna fucking kill you. Yeah, the Gardevoir sandwich is actually pretty decent. I didn't want to buy the Pikachu one or the Gengar shit sandwich, but yeah, like one of the local coffee shops is running like a Pokemon like collaboration, and you can get a Gengar like sub effectively. It's Gengar. Gengar Shadow Logout. He's fucking Spyro, man. I went to the you can go to the Spyro's fucking Subway right now and get yourself a Gengar-sized log. And I'm like, why? This looks awful. And they're like, oh boy, look, it's Gengar. Fucking Japan loves Gengar. And I'm like, why? Of all fucking Pokemon, why did you like a Gengar and purple fucking shit? I'm like, why? It's Gengover. Everyone loves Gen. Don't worry, you can still buy Pikachu things. Like, always understand that. You can still buy Pikachu merch. Pikachu merch is everywhere. And like, again, I had my thing the other day. Like, why is Pokemon not making good games anymore? They don't fucking have to. They never need to make good games. Like, you always gotta remember that. Like, he doesn't need... Pokemon never needs to make good games. All they need to do is keep merchandising, because people are gonna buy Pikachu branded fucking, suppositories, because they know it's fucking Pikachu. They're gonna buy fucking Pikachu branded anything. And it's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm in. Like, here's the Charizard sandwich. Eat the Charizard sandwich. You fucking sheep. Alright. So generally speaking, we are making a fourth like. Now, this seems kind of weird, but fourth like is the new hotness, as we all know. And I'm nothing but a trend chaser, not a trendsetter. And in our fourth like, so what is a fourth like game? Well, it is a game like D&D 4E. D&D 4E. Now, you youngins, you chillins, may not remember 4th edition. You munchkins, you may not remember 4th edition. But 4th edition was the game everybody wanted after 3.5. But then they didn't want it because it was different, and then they forsake it, and now we have 50 billion years of D&D 5th edition. 500 years of D&D 5th edition. And yeah, that's why, pretty much, not gonna lie. It didn't last too long. I believe it only lasted about 6 years. 4? Actually, no, about 4 years. Didn't do too well. There were issues with it, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of issues with it early on, but it got better and better over time. But it was radically different. It was very gameplay focused, very kinetic. I think that is the most important thing to know about Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition, is that it is an extremely kinetic game. And by kinetic, I mean very gameplay first. Fuck anything else. Oh, I want to do non-combat stuff. No, you don't. Skill. You don't. That's the secret. You don't want to do that. Yeah. Oh, running a story-driven 4E game. No, you want to play that. And there was the MMO boom. Like, let's not kid ourselves. I think that plays a pretty major part in it as well. But the Dungeons and the Dragons 4th edition was kind of a radical departure for a lot of things. But I would say in the year of our Lord 2025, there's a lot of games that are now who want to be 4th edition. And I think it's kind of the same. Not gonna lie, I think it's kind of the same reason why it exists. Like, the thing is, 4E exists because Wizards of the Coast looked at the forums, and they saw people making builds, they saw people trying to maximize damage, they saw people trying to, like, optimize the game, and they also saw people do, like, Adventure League stuff, proto-adventure, like, Adventure League, like, this is what's standard, this is what you should be doing. Yeah, effectively. That's what they saw, and that's what they designed around. And when they made it, it did sell well. It just, the problem is people realized it wasn't that. I think one of the biggest things with, like, I think the biggest problem with 4E was that it unironically was made for power gamers in mind rather than normal players. And again, if you really think about this, have you ever played a video game built for esports? You really played a game built for esports? It's weird because like your way of playing it versus like the pro way of playing it is very different. This is why I think like Rainbow Six Siege is kind of went into a weird direction, because they started listening more to the professional quote unquote players rather than normal players, or like how Dead by Daylight's such a fucking shit show because they don't really think about anything. I don't know why Dead by Daylight's still around. It baffles me. But if you appeal to the 1%, but they're going to be the most vocal. If you flip it though, if you appeal to the 99%, that 1%'s going to get mad at you more. Yeah, I mean, everything about meta chasing competitive nonsense, even games that aren't hard. Yeah, exactly. You want to get the, you want to do the best, but those guys are your most vocal fans and vocal critics. They're the ones leaving reviews. They're the ones bitching on the forums. And I really think that's kind of the same thing what happened with Ori, is that Wizard said, we're going to listen to these guys. We're going to listen to the guys who made Pun Pun, rather than the guy who makes, you know, Biff Fuckington, the fucking human fighter who takes, you know, toughness at level 1, who does not play optimally, who does not listen to the Ivory Tower. And then that's also kind of the problem with the Ivory Tower design at 3.5 near the end there, even at the start, really, was that there was that. That's why Pathfinder did as well as it did. Because Pathfinder was just 3rd edition again. And I think the recent trend of seeing more of these like 4th likes, Draw Steel, DC20 arguably, games like that, are part of the same thing of not seeing the forest through the trees. I want combat to be better. I want this to be better. I want this to be better. Okay, do you want these to be better? Or do you have bigger issues that these are just symptoms of? You want combat to be more engaging. Okay, so we cut out pretty much non-combat aspects like Draw Steel. Draw Steel is not about non-combat. It is about combat. And if you believe that it is not about combat, you are playing the game incorrectly. And it knows it. Like, that's the funny thing. It knows that you are playing the game incorrectly. Even like Nimble, like what does Nimble really focus on 90% of the time? It's not focusing on adventures or anything no, it's focusing on combat. What's DC20's main reason to exist? You're right, it's to facilitate better combat. And I think that's going to be the sticking point for some of these, is, hey, wait a second, this isn't quite what I want. This is, I want more role-playing. I want the fact that the reason I come back to this and don't play a board game, that's why I say MCDM. You know, Draw Steel is the best 4th edition like board game available on the market right now, for better or for worse. So I think the recent trend there has been, we want to make board games, we can't justify building a board game. That's just a me thing, though. So obviously, in our unnamed game, because we don't have a name yet, we're going to be making a 4th like, but Notepad Anon is making it, so I have to be a complete fucking idiot doing it. So, let's see. So if we're looking here, we're going to put you up here. We're going to put you here. We're going to be making I'm going to write down literally just my notes, action points. 3 rounds, however. right now, when it comes to like the D20, I don't know if I want to use MP D20. Notepad D20 is a variant of 20. There's things like momentum. If you want to see it, a good version of it, look at the Funger RPG I wrote. A lot more about momentum and keeping the momentum rather than anything else. We've got this. If I add my other notes, action point system should say we heavily combat focused. Put in a note. I want to kind of play the idea of like all your stats and stuff are really heavily combat focused because you are literally super soldier rejects. Playing up the idea that the reason you keep getting into fights and why the game is so hyper focused on them is because that is literally what you are best at doing. It is difficult for you to understand other things. I should put heavy kinetic TRPG. That, and I haven't made a grid system. I'm thinking of an action point system, because I don't action point systems. And if we're doing this, and we are doing this, I want to make sure that is my way because I'm faster. Character ATBs. If we're looking at our ATBs, we're going instinct, art, will, mental attributes. Almost again. If there's ever a question of should we make this kinetic or make this more dare I say normal, we should kinetic. Physical. S. Endurance. Yes, muscle endurance. I don't think we need the bonuses to be huge though. Should do. I am aiming for a ball. I do like the idea of health and under health. I've always been a big fan of over and under health. Always thought it's a good comp. Go away. Ooh. All right. So when it comes to our powers, though, this is where that oh, where is? See, this is where the Viscera system comes in. This is why actually I had a comment earlier. I had a query to God earlier this week, and so effectively the Visceras, you are going to be custom making your powers. So these are going to be adaptions, parts, progressions, and so adaptions are effectively non-combat minor bonuses. So the best way to think about like what an adaption An adaptation is by virtue of having a part on your body, you've managed to be able to do that better. I have horrible claws that I use to rip people in half. I'm better at climbing things. I have a horrifying drill face that I use to drill into the bodies of other. I happen to be really good at digging. Like, it's kind of almost like a side benefit, almost. Like, oh yeah, you have a non-combat bonus because you have, like, this horrifying combat part. Then we have parts themselves, which are stuck onto the... Yeah, stuck onto your body, hence why our little paper doll here. If we were to use our paper doll as an example, you would have an arm. You have your arm, have your legs, have your head, and you have your torso, and you have your guts. Kind of like each of these are a part that you can use and gradually mutates and gets worse and worse. So here you would develop into like, yes, I want to play a character who has like a crazy drill face, cool like claws, he's got cool claws that have. He's got like a big armor plate front, and his legs are giant. Here is how they operate. And that's where kind of like that's where expressions slash come in, which are effectively your per encounter slash daily abilities. Then these are also slash per, these are your per at will, say. So as as this character, for example, because you have claws, this is your auto attack, effectively, is to swipe at people or to stab people with your legs or to do things like that. Oh, well, isn't there an encouragement then to like get crazy weird parts over using like similar ones? Like, yeah, somewhat. I would have to probably put in like if you have two of the same parts, it's like, yeah, no, you effectively dual wield. At that point, you get a bonus for by virtue of having both of your arms be normal, you have a bonus to hit or something. That was also going to be like, oh, I want to make I want to go full like Kamen Rider. I want full normal. Like, I was going to either make like your gut or your chest here. Your gut or your chest here are like the most valuable, like most amount of actual viscera that you can use to make your power. Like, you get the biggest, best parts here. if you want to play a budget Kamen Rider, you want to play, fucking Kamen Rider Tornado or whatever, Arbiter of Justice, you can. The idea is you're sacrificing a pretty major part for the idea of having your effectively like a hero belt. You control your mutation, you have that. On the other hand, they are very rare and difficult to come across, and you are preventing yourself from having cooler powers in exchange for just being a lot more durable and a lot more able. But hey, I need to go full power. Rip the belt off. That's kind of like at character creation, you have to choose. Are you effectively a government Kamen Rider, or did the Super Soldier program work on you or not? If it didn't work, you're a normal PC. If it did work, you are a Kamen Rider. But again, you're a Kamen Rider Amazon, therefore a fucking freak of nature. Not a fun. You are not having fun as Kamen Rider. Let's just say that you are still in a horrible situation. You just happen to be a lot more power. You have a lot more raw durability and a raw ability to survive. In exchange, you don't have a cool power, because our parts directly feed into our expressions and our burst, as well as our adaptation. I have no idea how to do this. There is a part of me that thinks we're going to have to design some like keywords over here of like, oh, your keywords are it's physical, and that means all of your expressions and bursts have to be physical. On the other hand, oh, you have like a psychic thing, and that means you have like weird energy burst shit. Yeah, okay, then every expression in burst has to be energy related. And if you want to have a physical part with an energy expression, that's going to cost you more Viscera to work with. But that would probably be the easiest way of doing it, but I don't know like how many to have, because the Viscera system needs to be able to make weapons as well as armor, as well as utility. Luckily, this is a very big luckily, a lot, if not almost entirely, our kind of those abilities don't need to be too exotic, because it's how strictly kinetic the game is going to. You have a utility ability to resist getting moved, rather than I have wings. And if you do have wings, it's not you have wings, it's you have flight 2. Therefore, if you have flight 2, your check the chart here, this is your fly speed. But if you get more fly thing, you get to increase your fucking fly speed overall. So if you go hardcore into fly, like, yeah, you can fly around, but you may only have like basic punches that aren't very useful. That's the current plan. Good idea, bad idea, I don't know yet. They are ideas. So what are we thinking so far? Cooking with gas or cooking methamphetamines? I think I'm on the right track. I think there is... I feel like I need to... I feel like I need to add something to tie them into it. That's why I was thinking of like that community aspect. But that's like I see that. Eh. I know I'm going to have to put in like I don't think I need to put in a large gear system. I think I need like some gear, but it's not as useful as having the right expressions and parts and stuff. That and I think leveling up is going to be a little bit complicated. Which, when it comes to leveling up, right now the two options are either A, you get Viscera points to develop new expressions and bursts or adaptation. You literally, your XP is Viscera, i.e., you are just mutating rapidly. Option B is that you can go with like you don't start with everything, so you get to design parts as you go on. My only fear is that people will feel like, oh, I'm stuck with a bad build. I kind of feel like, okay, there has to be I wouldn't say an out, but a in-universe reason for a reset. I feel like there is one. But it's like, how deep do we want to commit to the bit? If that makes sense. I think we can commit to the bit, but committing to it's a pain in the ass as well. And yes, we are going full grid combat right now. When it comes to like grid stuff, it's either going to be 5-foot squares. It is between 5-foot squares, or more accurately, probably 1 meter squares, or it's going to be like space distance. Which is a terrible thing to say, but it's like kind of arbitrary distance. Like it doesn't really. You move 3 spaces over you move 15, if that makes sense. Right now it's really between, philosophically, I think the spaces will be easier in the long run and people won't complain as much. Ugh. Yeah. So we're feeling good. Game out well. Really, again, it's that you can use expressions per encounter. And I need to make this more. How do I want to use? More in universe, if that makes a horrible sense. Like the idea of like, yeah, you can use this per battle is like, yeah, your adrenaline just running fucking dry. Like this is an in-universe reason why you are on this timer of per encounter, per daily ability. Like, yeah, you burst, you need to fucking rest. Your body currently needs a reset in universe to do this again because it is taxing. And like, there's a part of me is just like, oh yeah, you can use it again, but you lose all your will. Yeah, you lose all your resolve or something, or yourself pretty badly. It's like, yeah, you can keep using your per encounter, per daily abilities after you've used them the way you should. The problem is you are burning your limited resources like that, which kind of operate on the same wavelength. Like, yeah, you can definitely keep burning your encounter stuff, but you're just losing that extra health, which you don't have a lot of, which is also going to be probably, like, if I do decide to put in the psychic stuff, if there is going to be psychic stuff, it's going to be probably less stick and more light. There's a few ways to do that. That is a little bit complicated. Alright, feeling pretty. Outside of the unknown game, any names are also appreciated, because I'm dog shit at coming up with names. We do have the Heirs of the Ranagar. Heirs of the Ranagar, I don't think it's complicated. Not as extensive as some of the other. I think it's good to have a comparison. Heirs of the Ranagar, I don't think it's going to be too complicated. That might be something rush over. That makes. Let's see. Anything else? Give the black. I do have a funny setup. That's the. We might do that for, if that makes sense, kind of a 2-month thing for the year. Mostly because I'm curious of what people think. And what do I mean by that? I will give everyone a little bit of a hint. Effectively, it's taking a D&D setting, making something isn't D&D. This is where the funnies happen, is your system. I'll elaborate more on that one at point. Let's see. Have anything else fun and exciting to talk about? No. Don't believe we... I don't believe we do have too many fun things to talk about at this point. Very simple stuff. We're making progress. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the spooky case. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for coming as always. Good people. Good people, all of you. I will see you all on the other side. Godspeed. Good luck. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Morning. Whatever time it is for you. You can have dinner.